Jameson, how many more deals should we expect by year end?
I mean, listen, it's going to, well, first of all, it depends on the president. It could be a handful. It could just be, we have the tariff set. And we don't need, more complex deals. As the president puts it, a tariff is a deal. A deal is the terms of trade we're establishing with our partners. Everyone is very eager for a deal, of course, and the president will go through country by country and determine which ones make sense.
All right, we'll be watching that.
He has no idea when there's going to be deals in place. It's up to the president, who also doesn't know when any deals are going to be put in place. But what he does know is that tariffs are a deal because, life changes for people like this when they're liars. But as you can see, things keep changing, things keep shifting, and there's never anything actually in place that benefits the American people. Jamison Greer wasn't done talking and making a fool of himself. In fact, here's more of those goalposts that continue to shift when we were supposed to have great deals and so much prosperity in this golden era.
So can you encapsulate where you are on the trade deals and what we should expect to come as of today?
Sure. So first of all, like you pointed out, for dozens and dozens and dozens of countries, we have tariffs at 15% and above, some as high as 50%. China, with all the tariffs on top, is well over 50%. So these are the highest level of tariffs that we've seen. And this is a great deal for the country. And the president has also agreed that if a country has another plan where we could have some level of tariff, but also some investment and purchases and market opening, that we can have some deals. And so you already know about a bunch of deals we have, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, EU, et cetera. There are others available if the president wants them. At some point, his view is maybe a tariff is better than a deal. So we certainly have some in the offing if he wants them, but we're very focused on making sure we can protect American manufacturing and be able to reduce our trade deficit.
Hey, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, I mean, right now we just have some tariff rates that we've placed, and the president believes that those are the same as a deal. How come he didn't say those are the same as a deal when he said he's going to have 90 deals in 90 days, 200 deals in 200 days, pushbacks until we have all of these great deals? Now deals equal tariffs. Tariffs equal a tax on Americans. Oh, that's if you're living in the real world. On top of that, he also acknowledged these are the highest level of tariffs ever. Highest level of tariffs ever. Don't forget, tariffs are a tax on you. Your consumer rates and your prices are continuing to go up. We're looking at it with our own two eyes. But he said that's a good thing. No evidence of why that's a good thing, outside of them talking about the billions and billions of dollars of tariff revenue that they brought in out of your pocket. I feel like I say it every day. So if the tariffs are the highest ever, that means the prices and the amount of money that they're stealing from you via tariffs is the highest ever. Weird how that works, but it's also weird how they keep saying it's such a wonderful thing. Don't you love being robbed? Caroline Levitt was here yesterday that lied to you about how you're being robbed.
The same so-called experts claimed that President Trump's tariffs would spike inflation and hurt American consumers. But consumer spending growth just accelerated and inflation remains right on track. For the past 5 straight months, core inflation has come in below market expectation and remains in line with the Fed's 2% inflation target.
Really? Is that the case? Because Caroline Levitt just said that these so-called experts, whoever they are, but they're so-called experts, whoever it is that's saying the correct things about what's going on, she can't name them because they don't pay attention to experts. But they said that inflation would spike and hurt consumers. But she said that consumer spending growth just accelerated and inflation remains on track. Really? Is that the case? Let's take a look at what maybe some of the experts have said about all those claims that she's making. Here's some information from those experts. The Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge ticked higher. It's weird. She didn't say that. Okay. It ticked higher last month in a sign that Trump's broad-based tariffs are starting to lift prices for many goods. It's not just starting to, it's been lifting prices, but still it continues. Prices rose 2.6% in June compared to a year ago. We heard about that. The Commerce Department told this on Thursday. It's up from an annual pace of 2.4% in May. Now, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, prices rose 2.8% in the past year, the same as the previous month, which was revised higher. The figures are above the Fed's 2% goal. And the Fed's 2% goal is one of those reasons why, as these things continue to go higher than that, the reasons they haven't lowered the interest rates that Donald Trump is bitching and complaining about and going after Jerome Powell over. They're trying to fix the game as reality continues to slap them in the face. Here's a little bit more reality. On a monthly basis, prices ticked up 0.3% from May to June, while core prices also rose 0.3%. Both figures are higher than consistent with the 2% target. Weird. The government's measure of gas prices also jumped 0.9% from May to June, while grocery costs rose 0.3% as well. Many longer lasting goods that are heavily imported saw clear price increases, with furniture prices up 1.3% just last month, appliances up 1.9%, and computers up 1.4%. I'm just going to point out the things that are a reality as they continue to tell these lies. But the one thing they can't keep lying about is those job numbers. This is affecting everything. Don't forget, they talk about how this is the golden age as they fire tons of people. And as these policies come into place and businesses slow down their growth, they slow down their hiring and they slow down their money making. And when that happens, this is also what happens to the job market.
The NASDAQ down about 200 going. 73,000 jobs. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
4.2% is the unemployment rate, right in line with expectations. Here are the numbers. For the month of July, jobs came in at 73,000. That was lower than the expectation, which called for 110,000 jobs. The unemployment rate right in step with expectations at 4.2%. Steve Moore, your reaction.
Look, I think this is all a result, this disappointing number is a result of all the turmoil over tariffs and the trade wars.
You think so, Steve? So they're projected to have 110,000 jobs of growth for July, down to 73,000. You saw all the reactions from those folks when Maria Bartiromo got those numbers, and gasps were happening on the set. Like, I can't believe this. How is this possible when someone's destroying the economy and ruining the job market? How is it possible that we lose jobs or actually don't get the same number of jobs that we had anticipated for the month of July? If you pay attention, you'll also realize that that same Maria Bartiromo had to give that same similar kinds of news about the job reports from July.
The expectations call for the ADP numbers to be up 95,000 for the month of June, rather. It's the June jobs data, and we'll, of course, right now seeing the number actually show a decline in jobs, down 33,000 on ADP. The bill includes $25 billion for the Golden Dome, the missile defense system. Senator, you introduced a bill supporting the construction of that system. I want to get your take on defense.
In June, they also had disappointing numbers. You notice every time they run up on those disappointing numbers, there's a, how is it possible? How is it possible? No. You have to find the line between the folks who support this president and everything that he does blindly, behind the people who know how bad this is and are trying to play the game, versus people who are too gullible to not realize how these things work. What do you think that does when people don't have jobs, have less income, or looking for other jobs that probably provide fewer dollars of income, and then prices for normal things that they buy every day go up? What do you think happens to normal people when that goes down? What happens is they try to pull a wool over your eye and say, as we see these disappointing and depressing job numbers, the labor secretary, I believe is who this is. Let me make sure I'm talking about the right person. The labor secretary, Lori Chavez DeRemer. As we're seeing all this bad news, this is apparently the way that they're going to try and pose it.
The president has done a wonderful job in these trade deals. We're seeing more and more countries come to the table, and this is another leg of the stool that can be assisting the American worker and the American business, and he's choosing not to do so. We need those interest rates down so that our businesses can borrow more money at a cheaper rate and invest in their companies, invest in the American economy, and grow this economy even better. We've seen positive job growth. We have seen consumer confidence go up. We've seen unemployment hold steady. While we could have seen better jobs numbers, right now we're seeing American workers are being put first. Native-born workers account for all of the job growth, and that's key. And the president is going to lean in, and all of his secretaries are going to lean in. And I can tell you this, what I'm hearing on the ground is positive. People are excited about what's happening on the ground. We're setting the table for a positive economy, and the American worker is going to win in this occasion because the president has their back.
None of anything that she said is based in any kind of fact. None of it. None of it. Those are just promises, projections, and trust me's. That's all it is. She goes, we need interest rates to go down. they need interest rates to go down so they can try and look better as this economy crumbles. And as Jerome Powell pointed out, we have to wait and see what happens. As it's August 1st now, the waiting and seeing is turning into some issues. Donald Trump is going to have to respond, or rest these idiots that surround him are going to have to respond with some other kind of delay or change, or, well, we'll change it this way and we'll delay it further and make something else happen to artificially make it seem like what's happening is not happening, as people like Lori Chavez DeRemer tell you that native-born workers are the ones that got the 73,000 jobs this month in this disappointing job numbers that just came out. It's only native-born workers. It's all those illegals, as they call folks, that we're getting rid of out of the country that would have had the job growth that we just got eliminated while people actually see what's happening in their lives. So again, pay attention to what the labor secretary said about it's all these foreign-born people that we're getting rid of that's made the job market crater like this, right? So how about some actual information from another source that isn't looking to kiss Donald Trump's ass? These are more of the details of how bad this has been and continues to be. It got worse.
This morning's jobs data came in much weaker than anticipated at 73,000, but it's the revisions that people are really focused on. Those downward revisions put the average rise in payrolls at just 35,000 over the last 3 months. Let's take a deep dive into the data with Michael McKee, Bloomberg's international economics and policy correspondent. And Mike, we were talking off air about how there's always a margin of error when it comes to these figures, but boy, those revisions look really ugly.
The revisions are really ugly and really interesting. We had just 14,000 jobs created in June, according to the revised numbers from the BLS. It was 147,000, took everybody by surprise when we first got those numbers. Private payrolls, only 3,000 in June, 83,000 in the month of July. Private payrolls were 74,000, half of what was created last month. So it is a major, major downward revision to the strength of the labor market, which was something that Jay Powell was touting at Wednesday's news conference. Now, the unemployment rate is just 2 basis points, less than 2 basis points, really, from 4.3%, almost a bigger jump there. We went to 4.2, which is a rounded number, 4.248. It does show you that we did have a lot of people losing jobs during the month, and we almost got a much bigger move, except for the fact that the labor force went down significantly again, 38,000 after 130,000 in the month of June.
It's pretty bad when the job numbers are disappointing on the day of, and then as the revisions come in later about what happened in June, it's even worse. As people literally see the failures that are going on, this is what Donald Trump has to say. And I want you to listen closely and try and figure out where his source is for this declaration that he's making.
You know, we're taking in literally trillions of dollars for the country. This is making our country very rich and respected again. We have, you know, I tell these people, and I say it as much as I have to say it, but every leader is at NATO. And I was in the Middle East with the 3 great countries, 3 great leaders. Qatar, you know, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and everybody said the same thing. All of the NATO countries, essentially, they said that we were a dead country. 1 year ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country in the world. Look at you people. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're doing great.
Why are NATO people going and privately telling Donald Trump, you know, your country was dead a few years ago, and now it's the hottest country in the world. It's the hottest country. I talked to everyone. I talked to Middle Eastern leaders. I've talked to NATO leaders. All of them say that you're the hottest country ever. You're the hottest ever. No one's running up to Donald Trump and saying, you know, you guys are hot. You're hot. You know, you're so hot. You're hot. You're so hot. I can't believe it. I'm so envious of you. I wish I was you. Nobody's doing that because they understand what too many Americans don't understand is happening right under their noses.